Hello, hello. I guess my intro is missing. I had a weird thing happen with my computer yesterday, and it's kind of driving me nuts. All of a sudden, my OneDrive, which is like a cloud drive, is automatically deleting these huge chunks. So, yeah, I don't really know how to stop that. So, I hope you can hear me okay. The microphone's a little bit far away because we're going to be over at the Seger and Coverstitch today. So, I'm just kind of sitting here just so that we can kind of say hello and stuff and get get going. How are you guys? How you guys doing? I'm still setting up too. So, what's new? Okay, this is my last live stream for like a week. A little over a week. I'll be back on the May 19th. So, I'm just going to miss next week and that's it. So, hello, Sydney. Hi, Ursula. Hey, Mrs. Necro. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. My other computer, the one I do like all my work at, is where I kind of store everything, and I keep it all in a cloud drive. But OneDrive kind of bogs down my computer, and it'll make noise. The fan will go, even if I'm not like looking at those files. Yeah. So I really loved it because I just like that I can pop on any computer and everything is available. I don't have to like, transport stuff, right? Hey, Hannah. Hey, Ray. Yeah, so, sorry. So, but it's starting to take long to do things. And I'm like, and it's saying that my computer's full. And I'm like, but it's all on a cloud drive. How can it be full? Hey, Barbara. Hello. And so, I figured out that I'm just going to put it all in Dropbox because I pay for that anyway. And so now I'm going through this painstaking process of putting it all back on Dropbox. But I was trying to delete a folder and I was like, I'm going to delete those. Oh no, it was 2 files. And it said, are you sure you want to delete 438 items? I was like, yeah, I'm not sure about that. And then they were just gone. And so then I went to OneDrive and restored them. But it's like giving me lots of doubts about everything. So I can't get it on Dropbox faster. And I think honestly it's just because my computer's unhappy, and that's why it's telling OneDrive, hey, we're at capacity, you need to automatically delete things, but I don't have that set. I don't really know. I've been Googling it. So, hey, Rebecca. Hey, Charlie. How's it going? All right, so just a few quick things. If you weren't here the other day, I copied my pajama top, which I actually have on my dress form over there. You see it? It's really far away. Sorry. It's just a really simple little tank top. And I haven't talked much, so my throat's all weird. Hey, Malin. You finally made it at the beginning, Beverly. Welcome. These are going to be like the fastest garments ever. So, good thing you made it at the beginning because you might miss us. So it's basically, I'm going to use my new serger and my Coverstitch. I have not used them since we unboxed them. These are my first projects with them. So I'm kind of getting the hang of using them, and that's kind of what this is going to be about. But, I actually really, I wasn't going to do the binding that's on so this tank top, I can bring it over actually. This little tank top actually has a Coverstitch binding at the neckline and armholes, right? And then at the center, it's a fake V. They just sewed a little seam right there to make it a V neck. And I started thinking about hemming the armholes and the neckline and going, this curve at the center front is a little bit concerning. So, hey, Libby. And I thought, why don't I try and do Coverstitch binding? The only reason I didn't plan on it was because I cut all the underwear out of my remaining fabric and I didn't really plan on the binding part of it. But I went and looked through my scrap bin and I got enough. And so, and I did a little sample here, right here. And so on my first try, it went pretty good. I thought maybe I had made it too narrow. And I used to be really good at this, and so I'm kind of eager to get back to where I was and kind of figure out what this machine likes and how to do it. It's sewed really easily though. So I made some binding, and when I made it an inch wide, I was like, oh yeah, that's plenty. And then when I went to do it, I was like, eek, it's so narrow. So I'm not using a special foot or anything, and we'll just give our best to the cover stitch binding. I've pieced some together here, and I just need to piece this together. So I thought I'd do that with you because I can't remember my favorite way to piece knit binding when it's going to go through a cover stitch and a serger like this. So we'll see. Oh, I am wearing my new jeans. You guys want to see? It's kind of warm. Yeah, I am wearing my new jeans. They're a little big, but yes, I'm wearing them. And like Libby, she was gonna leave the hems raw, so right now my hems are raw. So yeah, I'm into them. You know, and it's like, this is the classic thing. I feel like I should have stuck with the size 16 now because they're already feeling, they're so comfortable. Do they fit like the way, you know, people, you know, sit there and nitpick and fit jeans? No. But you know what occurred to me today was that this is a little bit personal and a little bit TMI, but as women who are trying to fit jeans, this is a very necessary aspect. I don't have a period regular anymore. And I haven't for years because I have an IUD that suppresses it. And it's a side effect of it. And I'm very susceptible to that. So, but lately, occasionally I'll have the symptoms of having it. So I'll get bloated, or whatever, you know, like some of the symptoms that I would get. And it always puzzles me. I'm like, why was my body doing this, you know? And then I'm like, oh yeah, there's that monthly thing. And so between my age and having an IUD, it's just not regular. And so, and I remember I was really bloated when I was fitting these. So now I'm wondering if they're a little big because of that, you know? Which would be such a bummer. But they are really comfortable, and I like wearing them, and they stay up, which I love. I like high-waisted jeans for that reason. And I made this pinnacle top yesterday. I'm not sure how you like it with it, but I really like wearing it. So you do, Mrs. Necker? I'm sorry. Yeah, I feel like it's like hit and miss. Hello, Patricia. Welcome, welcome. Happy Mother's Day to everybody, too. Thank you for saying so. That's a very nice sentiment. I have never been to Missouri. Hello, Terry. How's it going? So anyway, that crossed my mind. And yeah, anyway, I'm really happy with them. But I am kind of warm. And I put the thermostat down to 68 because I'm like, oh, I thought it was really windy and it was going to be kind of cold, chilly, and I can get away with wearing my jeans. So maybe I'll take some pictures today at the end of the day, if they're not too wrinkly. Okay, what else do I want to show you? So yeah, so I'm going to do the cover stitch binding. I'm going to try. I haven't done it on my new machine except for this one little trial. And it went pretty good. It sewed pretty nicely, honestly. So yeah. Here's the jammy tops we're making. All right. I feel like I've been mentioning this bathroom bag design that I have for so long. And it's a pattern that I really want to make and sell. And I thought I'd bring it, because it took me forever to find my pattern, and I started to get worried that I like did something weird with it. And then I finally found it. It's not marked or anything, which is so irresponsible. So yeah, it's true, Libby. Especially the non-stretch. Oh, really, Mrs. Necro? Yeah. Yeah. 52 now, 87. Oh my goodness. That's a big difference. That's like Colorado. The temperature between morning and afternoon can swing easily 50 degrees. It's nuts. Or more. Like I've literally woken up and there was frost on the ground, and by the afternoon it was 90 degrees. It's crazy. Crazy fluctuations, and especially day to day, like one day to the next. So all right, so this is my little bathroom bag design, and we did this as a egg crate, which was this 1 year long subscription box thing I did, which was super fun and a ton of work. My sales were through the roof, but I didn't make any more money. And I talk about this in my design and manufacturing series that I have. And why? Because it was just a lot of effort too, but we loved doing it. I have no regrets with it. So this is my little bag, and so you can hang it up. So you know, like when you're traveling, you can hang it up right here. And then it has a double zipper. Mine's all packed. It was in my go bag. So you have this zipper here and this one here. This isn't very well packed, to be honest, right? So you have double pockets here. Oh, look at that broken mirror. This is one long zippered pocket, but it has two sections. And then down here, I have this little clear pocket here. I did not feel that earthquake. It was only 4.1 or something. And then in here, there is these little elasticized pockets. There's 3. Sorry, it's very dark over here. I don't have the light on. And so you can put your shampoo. There's a big compartment here, and then it came with this little bag. And I always put my like lotion and shampoo in here because my 3 things fit in there. And this is what I'll like take into the shower with me, you know. So this was what we made. And it came with oh, that's what this is. Gosh dang it, this hook keeps grabbing this bin. It came with a little sewing kit that we made as well. This is to hold your needles and pins, right? And then this is just an old pattern hook. It's a little piece of elastic. And then it's cinched shut like this, so there was no zipper to install. Made it very easy. And it has a little handle so you can carry it. And I didn't lose things out of it. Super secure. So this is what I'm making into a pattern. And hey, now that we're all going to be like, release the Krakens, we'll all want something for traveling, right? So this is the bag I keep talking about, and I can't wait. I love sewing it. Yes, there's binding, but it's super fun to sew. It's all right. Oh, you know, Dansk, I have to say, these were napkins that I bought at a place called World Market, which is like a home goods store. Have you ever been there? Do you have those where you live? Sometimes they're called, used to be called Cost Plus. So, 4.1. No, I'm just teasing. Very wet there. Oh, you bring a finger on your eye. I'm sorry. It's not a lot of work, I promise. You bind the top edge of the pocket, you top stitch the zipper down, you lay all that stuff flat. And then I promise, like we did it in production. So it was pretty easy and fun. I felt like it was. So I feel like of all my things, I do make kind of hard to sew patterns. I admit that. So, oh, and I just made this for my mom. My camera hates Essex. I made this last night and this morning, and I'm so excited. I'm going to bind it. A little mini quilt for her for Mother's Day. It really hates that Essex. So this little square right here, I think because it didn't have all this little piecework in it, it got really like slack and wrinkly, and I didn't really know how to deal with that. So I ended up putting a total like newbie, beginner, fix it myself because I don't know what I'm doing as a quilter thing. And I put 2 squares that were the same size as this, not cut, but like inside this edge here. And I placed them inside there, and then I fused it on there around the edge, and it worked. It got rid of all that like slack because all this was so thick and this was just one layer. So I hope she likes it. And I'm just going to bind it with this floral. This was a napkin too from World Market. I'm having so much fun using these napkins. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna put a loop here, and then she can put a little dowel here. I don't know. Yeah, I'm really loving really small projects like this, and I haven't gotten to do it. And you know, I don't know if any of you watched that Friday Sews, but I kind of am having that whole like, I have too many things I want to get done, and I finally just was like, I'm not doing any of it. You know, I got to that point where I'm like, this is like, I'm so dead in the water of what to do, what's the best thing to do, that I was like, nobody's expecting me to do these things. So what if my AdSense drops down $30? I'm just going to have to deal with that. And then I was like, well, then what do I do? You know? So I finished this top, which has been bugging me. I was going to do it as video, and I decided I'm not going to because it barely comes in any sizes. I will do a sew through of this top when they extend the sizing because they're working on it. And I do think it's a good one because doing this little meetup, I see a ton of people complain about it. And lengthening it is kind of a challenge. So I think it's a really fun one to do. So yes, guilt-free watching. I love that. All right, so yeah, the burning your finger. I burn myself all the time, and I feel like such an idiot when I do it because I'll do dumb things like reach across my iron. Like I still have that mark right there. Remember when I did that? It's like, it's not my first rodeo, but I'm acting like it is. So, oh, Barbara. It is difficult, Ursula. I totally agree. I did spill my coffee today. So we have an automatic espresso, a super automatic espresso machine, which means you press the button, like we have it filled with beans in the hopper. You press a button and it makes your shot. So that's what super automatic means. Meaning we don't like grind it, tamp it into the little thing, fit it on there. You know, it's like that. That was our wedding gift. And we get a ton of use out of it. And I use it to make Americanos. That's what I like. And then we have this really nice hot water maker because my husband does pour overs and it's so agonizingly slow to pour water out of it. I hope he's not watching, but he knows how I feel about it. That I will lift the lid off of it and just pour it from the side. And so this morning, when I was setting it back down, I clipped the handle of it on my coffee mug and then spilled the coffee. I was like, oh. So I hope not, Barbara, but I feel like they do. Yeah. Yeah, you need a day of recovery from burning your finger from your coffee and just drinking some iced coffee. Project planning paralysis. Oh, I know that one. Oh, Charlie. I have done that one too. You know the other thing I've done, and I've also dropped it on my foot a few times too because I wanted to break its fall and and I was trying to catch it. But yeah, did you grab I know exactly what there's something bugging me right here. I know that is, what was I gonna say? Oh, so when I was in high school and I would iron my clothes, this is so embarrassing when I did this. I was such a dummy. But I would sit on the ground and iron them on the rug. I can't believe I did this. Like, just saying it, I'm like, what was I thinking? Carpet back then? I mean, carpet now, it would just melt, underneath if it touched it. And so, but I would sit there straddled, which means like my legs were like this and I'd be ironing. And so many times I would go like up my calf or on the inside of my upper leg, like my thigh. I finally broke the habit, I don't have any excuse for the fact that I was just trying to get it done. I didn't know how to do it. And, yeah. I still have one scar from doing that too. Nice. So you're making underwear out of your husband's underwear? That seems kind of meta in a weird, strange way. So what I was thinking when you said that was, isn't t-shirt knit a little bit stiff or not stretchy? I mean, I guess some of them are pretty stretchy. Some of my t-shirts are pretty stretchy, but most of them are kind of they're jersey. They're just kind of, not so stretchy. But yeah, I'm so disappointed I don't have underwear elastic to make all my underwears because now I'm feeling empowered, especially after doing like so spontaneously that little this little cover stitch binding thing. Like, God, that went pretty darn good. I was so worried that this little edge was going to fall short of this stitching that I was pulling on it a little bit, and I didn't have to worry at all. So let's get to it. So let's see. I'm going to piece together this binding. And I like I said, I can't remember my favorite way to do it on knits for cover stitch binding. So hopefully I will not make it harder on myself by not doing it the same way. I'm going to make these angles about the same though. So I'm just going to single needle these together and open up the seam allowance. So that's a little differently than how I do it with, oh, that was too small of a seam allowance, so it got hung up. Let's do that again. I did those whole things right there. But now that you're watching, I suck. My thread's a little bit thick. So this is my plan. I'm just gonna do this. And then that. Oh, rib knit. Yeah, that would be good. Oh, okay. Cool, Mrs. Necro. What if you, Sydney, just used a woven top pattern? It'd be a very comfy woven top instead. I don't know, Libby. When someone's coming out, like a company that is coming out with a new pattern and they come out with one of those, I'm like, nope. Yeah. I feel like that's such a, look at me doing this in the the simplest way possible. I'm just making those angles the same. Yeah, I feel like when I say things like that, people think I'm trying to be funny, but it's just kind of a fact of life around. I think partly it's due to my vision and my change in size over the last couple years. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm still, it's like when if anyone here has gotten pregnant and had a baby, when your body starts changing and your hips start widening, you start bumping into things, and you know, your first thing is like, gosh, I'm such a klutz as a pregnant person. I hate that there's not one word for being pregnant, you know? You have to say pregnant woman. Like, it's such a weird phrase. Like, just, I wish it was just neutral. A prego, you know? And then it's because you learn that your body's changing, and so you're bumping into things, and then your belly starts bumping into things. That is me right now, you know? So, yeah. It's like when you're in a store and you see that woman with a really big bag, and she has no idea that she just sideswiped you and, like, catapulted you into the next aisle because her bag is so big, or she just cleared off that counter that she walked next to. I know some of you were like, oh shoot, that was me. I saw you. So when you're piecing binding like this, if you lay it right, both ends right side up that you're going to sew together, and then just cut them at an angle, these two will sew together perfectly like that. So just do it right side up. I was just like not paying attention, so I was making it a little hard on myself back there. All right. Prego jar of sauce, exactly. I know, but do you know what I mean? This has been such a source of weirdness about the English language for so long for me, that we say pregnant woman, you know? Why isn't there one word to describe a person who is pregnant, or a woman who is pregnant? Or, I mean, shoot, there are women that have transitioned, men who have transitioned to women who have kids, you know? So it's like, I just think there should be one word. It seems redundant. Yeah, right, Sydney? Use a woven, I think a woven, if it's not very stretchy, seems like that would be kind of fun. Oh, they're so noisy and they don't like this sound? That's funny. Yeah, Beverly. I like that too. I like I think the favorite ones I made when we made them together last summer was the ones that are, oh, it's a bird. That had the fabric waistband. And I just made them like barely smaller than the waist, sewed them on. Those are my favorite to wear. The elastic ones are fine too, but I do find myself gravitating towards those. With child, it's still 2 words. I just want 1 word for it. It just seems so strange that we don't have 1 word to describe a person who is pregnant. A pregnant, hey Penny, a pregnant. But then you'd have to describe that. You'd have to explain it. It's just it's like a quirky language thing. And maybe in other countries and other languages, there is just 1 word for it. I'm trying to think what it is in Spanish, because I know that it's a word that you can confuse with something else. Because I've seen people say, oh, are you pregnant? And when they meant to say, oh, are you embarrassed? Gestator. There you go. That sounds like it's straight out of Alien. I'm not gonna lie. Pregists. Ooh, pregists. I like that. Pregists. Yeah. Pregnists. Now we just need to tell the world. Yes, exactly, Beverly. Embarazada. Yeah. But I once watched the floor supervisor for our factory ask one of the women on the floor. It was like a more casual conversation, but what he asked her, he mistook the word, and it got really awkward really quick. It was pretty funny though. I thought it was funny. He did not. An elephant, a gestator, makes you think of an elephant. An incubator. Gestator. See, now you're all thinking. See, I like this. Yeah, that's true. Gestation. Hey, Walter, nice to see you. It's snowing? What the heck? Gestator feels like a woman in general. This is funny. Words are so funny anyway. I feel like we do use certain words and they definitely, you have your impressions of them. Yeah, welcome to spring. All right, so I moved around. Let me see if I can show you. I put a space between, see, there's now space between my sergers and this side over here. So we're going to do our best with the cameras. I'll show you what I got going so far. And we're going to start sewing some pajama tops. But I can't watch chat very well, or my cameras, but I'm going to watch you guys on my phone. Let's see, here's the microphone. And there we go. I want to know, I think I have to be a bigger streamer to be able to highlight chat. All right. So now I can kind of see you guys. Oh, no. It rained last night. Okay, so how does everything sound and look, you guys? All right, so let's do the one with sleeves first, which I have. These are all my jammy tops, and I just have them all bundled together. All right. Let's see here. So it's the blue one that has no sleeves, and this top one that has no sleeves. This one has sleeves. French enceinte. enceinte. I did not know that word. We are largely capable of gestation, yeah. Fine, looks okay. I don't want my head to be in the way, you know, so. Remember, this is my first time using my machines since we got them. Let me get rid of that cord there. I had my iron all the way over. This is usually my ironing station. All right, so I'm using the 4-thread with safety stitch on my serger. And I'm kind of thinking about doing my cover stitch neck with one shoulder not sewn. Sorry, I'm trying to think. I don't have a game plan. I'm more thinking about my machines and how I'm sewing these. So now I realize I have to think about how I'm sewing these. All right. Hey Val, how's it going? We just started sewing. I made the width of my stitch a little bit narrower. Let's see, I haven't calibrated it though for this fabric. I need my scissors here. It's so tight over here. That's okay. Oh, that'll do. All right, so if I leave my neck open, let's try and do the neck binding. We're just gonna jump right into the fire here. We're gonna jump right into the fire here. All right, so here's the binding that I made. I'm just gonna put it in this little scrap box here. I put my stitch width pretty narrow as I can right now with the limited understanding of this machine that I have. And I'm gonna serge it on, or overlock it, however you like to call it. I'm not really gonna pull too much, but just a tiny, tiny bit of the binding. I'm just gonna gently kind of pull it. I'm not trimming anything off. Ooh, I'm so excited to sew my first garment. I actually meant to sew this edge because this edge is cut so wiggly. Oh well. And I actually wanted to put my label in there, don't I? Is it the second straight stitch? My understanding is it's the one on the left. Oh geez. There we go. Oh geez, I forgot. Oh my god, this machine is so fast. And I have so little space. There's like no table. Okay, there we go. Nice and quiet. What do you guys think of the sound? Where's my, here we go. A stretched out armhole binding. Ooh. Could you thread some elastic in it? Is that cheating? All right. So now we have this piece of binding to the neckline. Let's give it a go. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it around. Oh, this is kind of wide. That's so funny. When I did it on the other fabric, I had a lot of trouble getting it to cover my stitches. So this is a little bit wider. So I'm just gonna kind of be a little bit looser with it. And I have my presser foot up too. But I wanna pull this a little bit. This is why I left this seam open, because the cover stitch, you can do it in the round, you know, that's fine. I know, isn't it cute? It's so little. All right, so I feel like that just kind of smushed out this edge here. So maybe I'll make it a little snugger while I put it under there. This is so different. It just feels so different than what I'm used to too. But it feels good. All right, so this one, my foot pedal's right here because for some reason they don't make it the thing long enough. And I really wish I had a place for this shirt, so I'm gonna put it over my shoulder. These are sleeves. Well, I do have a table, but my problem is cameras. So I think if I were just sewing by myself in my room, I could, yeah, I would have this set up completely differently. I'm just making sure it's moving before I kind of tear into it. All right, so I'm just folding this around. And I didn't do a very good job of cutting this edge. And in fact, like I said, I meant to serge this edge to the shirt so I could tidy it up, and then I kind of forgot. So it's also a little wider than I want. So I'm gonna just try and do it so that it just covers the serging. And I have to do it one-handed. I feel like a circus act right now. And just think, if I had matching thread, you wouldn't see all my stitch mistakes. Yeah, see, it's a little wide. We can trim it, but, you know, it's so nice when you don't have to. It's cheating you're okay with. It does purr. I'm not liking the sewing with one hand with something so fiddly. Yeah, my sewing table at home would be perfect to have my sergers or the cover stitch. I feel like I could go faster, but it's the whole holding it with my right hand while I'm trying to use the pedal. But I feel like it's going really good for my very first time. Right? Ah! I just got something in there. Oh my goodness. Phew. Yeah, right? That's what I'm thinking, Beverly. Greatest show on earth. Because the table's so high up, Martina. I'm standing. The serger reaches. The serger cord for the foot pedal does reach, but this one doesn't. I mean, it dangles, you know. I can probably do it, but, you know. Dang, I was so worried I cut this stuff too narrow, but now I cut it too wide, you know? Oh boy. Some of that's a hot mess. Yeah, that's kind of a hot mess. I'm okay with it being for my first one. This is a little wide right, this little thickness right here because of that seam. So maybe I would work on cutting this the proper width. Because, yeah, can I trim this? Yeah, I can trim this. I actually feel like this is the best way to trim it. Always turn it so that your little edge is like this. And then go at it from this side like that. It's really tempting to go like this. Right? You have such a danger of cutting your garment when you do it this way. You know? So what I do, I like to do it like this. Starting from the other end. But it sure sewed easy. So we know it's going to be possible. And maybe by my third one, I'll be better at this. Yeah, no? All right, so let's serge this other shoulder. We're going to leave the hot mess. Oh, nice, Val. I need an extension cord. Yeah, well, it's this that I need the extension cord for. I'll try and put it on the ground, but the problem is the camera. If I have to have this here, it doesn't reach. It sits like this on the ground. It sits like this. That's as far as it goes. That's why. They really need to make them more friendly for people who stand and sew anyway. I'm going to go to my single needle real quick. And I'm just going to tack the shoulder. Let's see how close and personal how bad it is. Yeah, I'm standing, exactly. Yeah, I could try that, Rebecca. It would mean that I would have to stand and lift my leg up a little bit, which is already a little bit, yeah. Yeah, so I got kind of good at doing this and even using a rotary knife in there and trimming it, you know. But I'm sliding it with my thumbs and really pulling it away, you know, and then trimming. And then, yeah, we can get pretty close. And yeah, can I get it even closer? But it is pretty dangerous, especially with these scissors. They are so flippin' sharp. Living on the edge. I'm a circus act adrenaline junkie. That is a Juki MC. It's an S, right? MCS 1500. Could I use the same power cable for both? That's such a good question. Because if I could just buy an extra one from the Juki for my Juki serger and use it on my Coverstitch. So smart. You're such a smart cookie. Oh, what was wrong with your message, Patricia? All right, so look at that. I've got a little torquing right there. I'm going to just tack my shoulder because of the thickness. Maybe I don't even need to do this, but I'm so used to my old serger not liking thicknesses and my knife, you know? So, all right, so I'm just going to tack it right here. Right at the seam line so that it's secure for when I do it on my serger. That's all I came here to do, just that. And then once I overlock this, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to stitch it down so that, because I have a seam going through to the neckline. And then let's look at, well, we can do this later because I'm going to trim that, but I'll put my little like V in the neck too. Like that. It looks pretty bad right there. It did sew over these seams really easily, but because of their thickness, they're going to make this little bit here stick out further. Ooh, I'm determined to get better at this. A splitter or surge protector. Well, okay, so remember, the cord on both of those is the power cord and the foot pedal cord are one. So it's like the cord that goes to the unit and then there's two cords coming off of it. Oh, see, that's what I was thinking, Dansk. I could just take it to the light store and have them lengthen it. That's what I was thinking I would do. All right, let's go back over there and let's start really getting into this. Yeah, right? Well, that's, I mean, there's nothing wrong with setting yourself up for success. right? Is the Coverstitch an air threader? No, but it's not necessary at all. I have an unboxing video and I set it up there, and then I further refined the getting used to it off camera once I kind of got it all set up. Yeah, see, I'm kind of glad I did that because it did kind of push away a little bit. And now I can put this tail in here and top stitch it down. Alright. So I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna do one side seam and then we're gonna attach the sleeve both ways today. Yeah, it's the pedal. Yeah, exactly. The serger is an air threader. And it's pretty cool. It also has a needle threader, this little thing here. And that was pretty magical. Seeing that, and that's in the unboxing stream for that one. Oh, I need to move the microphone back over here. Sorry, guys. And just to be clear, this is not my first time having a serger or a cover stitch, everybody. This is probably my fourth serger and second cover stitch. So I just don't know these two machines, so you're getting to see me get used to them. All right, so the reason I'm going to do them both ways is because there's always that debate of do you set the sleeve in knits or do you not? So I'm going to do both. So on this one, obviously, I have to set the sleeve in. So, which means that I'll be cover stitching this one in the round, and I'll be stitching that one in the flat. So there's advantages to either. Serging at the underarm of a sleeve with this little hem, you know, doohickey is, you know, not ideal. Straightening it out so I can get past that hem curve. Alright, and so let's cover stitch the hem of this sleeve first. This one's the flat, so the sleeve is still open. There are some lines on my throat plate here. They're pretty hard to see though. This fabric is that kind that's like so slippery. Oh, it's right here. I'm looking for my foot pedal down at my foot and, you know, I don't have one. Oh, I really do need to figure out the foot pedal thing though. It makes me feel very inaccurate, you know? Forward and then back. And then pull. Oh yeah, look how inaccurate. Why is that so inaccurate? That's so funny. Let me look at this. Okay, so if I'm here, putting it there. See, for me, that feels, All right, well, that's one of the worst ones I've ever done. And so now I can put this sleeve on the open armhole. The one that I didn't do the side seam on right here because it's flat, right? Pedal cords fit both surgery and cover. Okay, cool. Nice. So maybe I will get a longer one. Yeah, maybe they even sell extra long ones, you know? Why not? I just wish I had more table too to set my garment on because it does want to fall off. All right, so this is the front and that's the back. Yeah. All right, so let's put this shoulder seam towards the back. Yeah, it's okay. I don't mind. It's, you know, there's always a learning curve. You know, it's not just like learning your machine. You got to learn like, I mean, it is, right? You got to kind of learn like how your new machine acts, especially when you're going bouncing back and forth. The speeds on these machines is slightly different. I'm liking them a lot though. That line up there. Yeah, I think this cable would be kind of short. Same with my old one. Remember, I would sometimes have to have it up on the table. All right, so let's do this whole side seam here. I'm also not like fussing around with the differential or the pressure of the presser foot quite yet. And that would make a difference. Like when I'm trying to start a seam that is really thick, I could adjust the pressure of the presser foot a little bit and the differential to help me get it going. But I'll get there. I don't know. It might be you know, the machine needs. Hello, Corey. How's it going? All right, and so this for me is the drawback. Like that seemed like nice and easy, right? Because we could hem this while it's nice and flat and then put it through. But then you have this issue. You have your seam, your underarm seam going through the hem, which I don't like. This is very ready to wear, and so I don't really like, you know, why go to all the trouble of doing your own clothing if you have to have seams going through, unless you're just, I mean, it's a pajama top, right? And it's not that great. So, you know, we don't have to sweat it. So on this one, we've done their underarm. I don't have to hem it right now, but we will. Why not? It's easier when it's just the sleeve rather than it being the whole garment, especially right now in this limited amount of space. Yeah, I know why. It's the same height table. But I also didn't have the camera facing this way, remember, Libby? It was overhead, so you couldn't see what I was doing. And so because of that, if I had the camera overhead and I was at that table, I could have the machine all the way to the front and this would reach. So right now I could, you know, I can slide this up. It's not a big deal, you guys. I don't mind suffering a little. It's okay. Here, I'll put this down here. It kind of fits. Let's see, I'm watching the stream. See if you can still see that. I'm not liking this discrepancy here, so I'm gonna smooth it out a little bit. Making sure you can still see. All right, so I've got my little hem here. And I'm gonna start just behind the seam. Or I say, yeah, I say behind. Yeah, so let me feel the edge there. Oh, you guys are writing such long messages here. Yeah, I feel like because they're not computerized, that wouldn't be a big deal for a longer cord, you know? Oh, I love that. It just went right over that seam. I feel a lot better hemming like this than hemming flat. I feel like it's a lot easier to get your needle lined up on that raw edge. I still got it a little bit off. Ooh. So I'm going to try this one little thing where I'm going to pull just these two top threads forward. Like this. I'm going to try and yank back. There we go. And see, I think that once I get the hang of that, that will affix the threads. Because my old cover stitch, I didn't have this problem, this whole thing of like your thread unraveling under here. So that's an argument for the baby lock. You don't have to worry about that. I don't like this little stitch right here. So that went a little better, but not much. Oh, I'm so out of practice. All right, let's put this sleeve on. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of hemming flat. I know a lot of people like to do it, but when you're doing knits, setting a sleeve on is really easy. So I don't know why you would do it. I don't feel like there's an advantage, I guess. This is the back. So I've been offsetting the thicknesses of my seams here at the juncture of the underarm. I have this sneaky suspicion that my binding kind of stretched out my neckline a little bit. Because it's, or maybe it's just that it makes it stiff, you know? All right. Legos and blue. Okay, wait. Rebecca, you need to paint us a picture. I'm like looking at chat and trying to do this. Here we go. I need more information on that. No, I haven't, Penny. I feel left out. Oh, I haven't registered my product though yet. You know, I may still decide on a different machine. Ha ha ha. No, I'm actually pretty happy right now. And I'm a no hassle type of person, so. You got 3 for the same. I hate surveys. They make me a little mad. I don't understand. Like, I've given you my money and bought the thing. I don't need to give you more of my time. You've got my money. Like, you know I bought the thing and I didn't return it. So, I don't... I think the only time I like leaving reviews and stuff like that is when it is, whoa. Oh, Ray. Thank you. That's nice of you. My roam-about week. You know, like if a small pattern company needs a review on their site, I'll do that. Who's giving away a new home sewing machine? Oh, one of the people that's for the survey. Yeah, I don't care. I don't want a new home sewing machine. What do y'all usually set your machines to sew knits with a zigzag? It's automatically set at 5 and 2, and it's got a pucker in the middle. It's automatically set, huh? I don't know. I don't have, I'm not doing any undie sewing today, Martina, sorry. I did not manage to get elastic in time. That was only 2 days ago, so I apologize for that, but I will sew them on camera. All right, so this is pretty much done except for the bottom hem, and then doing things like trimming up my mess here, and then like this seam here. And look at my cover stitch doesn't match here, so I'll get better at that. And this is another reason I like doing it in the round. But something like this here, I'm gonna snug this up, pull it into the seam, and I'm also gonna stitch it down like this. Like just put a little stitch right here. It's just the best way to secure it. It looks the nicest. It keeps this thing from not waving around a little bit, and I don't like that because then you have this tail. So that's just my personal preference though. So I'm gonna trim this little discrepancy here, kind of make the transition a little better. It's kind of hard without like any table space. Oh, cool. My foot pedals are too short as well. I searched and could not find when to purchase the longer cord. Oh. Yeah, I'll definitely be looking, Val. Yeah, play around with your zigzag. You don't have to use their default at all. It's just their default. It's not a suggestion. All right, so here is my top so far. I'm trying to determine what's the back and what's the front because we're gonna hem this now. Oh, what is this? This is a pretty small, is a 1/2 inch hem. 1/2 inch hem. That is pretty narrow. You can change the width and length of your lightning stitch. All right, so Val, you know, one thing I've done before when I've needed like different cord stuff is if you have a in your town a place that does light fixtures and lamps, they're usually like, I feel like they're very easily overlooked because it's such a home decorator type of store. Oh, I'm a little off right there. But one time, like with our big cutting machine, we accidentally cut the cord. It was quite spectacular in a bad way. And we took the cord to a light store and they were able to fix it. It got shorter because I didn't need any length. So it also had an extremely unique little plug on it to the machine. So they were really careful about it. And I don't think lengthening that would have been a good idea because it was such a heavy duty machine. But I think that would be my next step. If I couldn't find a longer cord, I'm going to go back to that light store and say, hey, can you lengthen this? So I feel like I'm at a 1/2 inch seam right now, right? Like right here, this is my needle. There's my edge of fabric. I can see it. It's right there. I just want to show you, like, I need to get the hang of this thing because it's not working. Here it is. That is a 1/2 inch. It's not coming out like that at all. In my defense. I need to figure out this machine. I feel like it's squishing it more than my other one did. You know, it's just like when I sit down and my butt spreads out. It's like doing that to my Coverstitch hem. But look at that. It went right over that thickness so nicely. Oh, not the width, just the length. Yeah, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're as wide as they'll go. This is such a curved hem, too. Like, come on. Stay in that 1/2 inch, please. It's not. My left foot's a little numb. Now you're going to start feeling bad for me. Oh, this is pretty off right here. Oh, well. I bet CD Vax is like, oh, man. You are rubbish at this. I'm out of here. I said I'd be trying to get used to it. See, look at this right here. Let's pull some of this out right here. Let's fix it before we get there. You know? This is what I love about these little scissors. They're so sharp and small. I can actually use them kind of like a seam ripper sometimes, you know? There we go. Come on. Get back in line there. See, I have this. I'm going to do a little further. I think, like, I did start having second thoughts about this serger when I realized that it doesn't lock that stitch underneath, and my baby lock does. And that kind of made me feel babied. I was like, oh, see, I like that. I never had to think about the fact that this stitch underneath can just start coming undone. Handy if you want to remove it. We don't usually, though. Right? So. Yeah, I am, huh? Gotta get used to your new machines somehow. So I've seen lots of tips and tricks on how to deal with this right here. And I mean, I understand it's a necessary evil with this kind of machine setup, but I'm not, I'll just be honest, it makes me a little bit disappointed because I will really miss that feature of mine and the fact that I didn't have to worry about it at all, you know? Let's pull out a few of these. Because I personally don't think you should have to break out your hand sewing needle to finish this. And that's the solution. So, you know. Ooh, man. Okay, maybe I'll do better on less curvy hems. Okay, well, the trial one is done. Except for some of the details. Let's go to our next one. This is a completely different fabric. Ray. It's so funny how, you know, the autocorrect is so biased against crafts in general. It doesn't know the word sew and it doesn't know the word knit. You know, come on. All right, we're going to sew our shoulders here. This is just a tank. And I'm just going to do one shoulder, and I'm going to do my neckline again with the binding. Well, my baby lock, so when I was finished sewing on the cover stitch, it didn't unravel. And so the one thing you learn, like what I've seen with this cover stitch, is that there's a lot of care and handling at the end when you are done. So because that under thread, you can just pull it and it'll go brrr, and it's gone. And so there's a ton of care and handling and instruction on how to remove your work, because you don't just cut the threads and pull it out. You would start pulling it out if you didn't cut this thread underneath it. It's kind of hard to grab it to cut. And so, and then I saw, when I was trying to find how to thread that one little spot on the side of the under looper, I came across so many more videos on how to do that. So I knew, because I was finding more videos about that than how to, I just did what I thought I did. I thought I did that. Oh, no, I did it okay. Never mind. So that made me gave me a little warning bell that I'm like, oh, okay, this is what people Google the most about this machine. It is, Dot. This is usually where I iron. This is my iron camera. I just set this up today since it's my first time using these machines, and I only ever had the Baby Lock Evolve did both, cover stitch and serging. And now I have two separate machines, but isn't this fun that I'm able to bounce back and forth? All right, so I feel like this could be narrower. Or you know what I'll do? I'm gonna make my stitch width wider. Look at me being outsmarting, but my left foot's going to sleep. All right, wait, you guys are writing such long comments and I'm looking on my phone. Okay, wait a minute. The Baby Lock cover stitch will chain off like any serger does. Thank you, Deborah. That is the way to explain it. And so well, I don't know, Michelle. I feel like that's getting into territory I'm not sure, because I think of these both as being, because there's no bobbin, so it's not technically a lock stitch. But maybe it is. That might be getting into technological terms. I'm not sure. When I sew non-PJ knit tops, do you put clear elastic in the shoulder? Sometimes, Sydney, but not really. If I was really worried about something losing shape, like a really long shoulder seam, maybe. Have you explored the method of locking cover stitch hems where you pull the needle threads towards yourself, cut them in the middle, and then pull the yarn back? Yeah, I did do that earlier, Barbara. You can lock the stitches at the end. You lift the presser foot to release the extension, then pull the needle threads, snip them off. That's awesome, Malin. So your brother does the cover stitch with a lock. Okay. You lift the foot, use the slow to put the top threads forward, cut and pull the work out of the left, and then cut. Yeah. So the other thing is that if I do that, if I pull the two top threads forward, cut those, pull the work back, it will, in a tiny way, cinch the work, cinch the stitching. So that's why I'm being cautious about doing it that way. Then pull the work firmly to the back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, threading that looper, Deborah? Oh my goodness. I actually got mad at some really nice older woman who had this beautiful sewing video. I was like, you did not show how to sew that, and I'm really disappointed in you. She's like, well, I'm sorry. Here's a link to a couple others, and they were not helpful at all. I was pretty... Oh, Dot. That's a good idea. So this is a pretty stout table. Like, it's industrial. You know, the wool mat might be an expensive way to go, or maybe a little quilt. All right, let me, I'm just, I'm gonna keep practicing my, neck binding here. So I'm going to overlock my binding onto the neck. I think I'm gonna pull a little bit more this time, although this is a different fabric. And I kind of want it wider now that I know I had trouble getting it all to cover. When you get to the end of my cover seam, you run an awl between the fabric and the needles, pull the threads forward. Yeah, cut. Exactly. Yeah, I can do that, Rebecca. I could, Catherine, but then my foot would be up in the air and I'd be standing on one leg even more. I can, but usually not a big deal. Okay. Yeah, and see, here I am selling my baby lock. But I'm happy also to have two machines to rule them all rather than one machine to rule them all. This is my front. Okay. It'll make doing knit streams so much easier if I don't have to convert my machine back and forth. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Catherine, but I'm standing up on one leg already. Walter. Tape is definitely a valid tool, right? All right, how many of you have gotten someone's pants to hem and they were duct taped? How many of you? I'm curious. I'm so glad, Catherine. Welcome. I've seen your name. You've commented on videos, right? I'm so glad you're here. This chat is pretty awesome. Hot glue. Has anyone ever gotten duct taped hems? Because I have a few times. And man, on the farm, I would just be like, these things are disgusting. There'd be hay and poo in them. All right, so this one is much smaller. So see, look, I'm barely going to cover that. A little harder. But that is what I want. Because watch, I tell you, when I put this on the machine, it's going to go squish and spread it out a little bit. I think that maybe I would, let's not search that. I would get an attachment maybe for this. I started Googling and god dang it, there's just a billion things that came up. So then I was like, ugh. See, okay, so here's another thing. Here's a tip that I did not follow myself. Leave yourself a little tail of this binding so that you have something to start on and get your legs under you when you get here instead of starting like this, you know? Yeah, know what I mean? Jelly beans. All right, I'm gonna move my chat over here so I can see you guys since you're so chatty today. And I like it. Oh, and then I just touched it and it went everywhere. Oh my goodness. Yeah, oh, Staples. Yep, Staples. I've seen those. Hi, Eva. How's it going? I was feeling like my Evolve was showing its age a little bit. But Charlie, I was actually thinking the opposite. Keeping it as an overlock and getting a cover stitch. Wait, is that what you said? So the cover, yeah. Yes, I can, CD. You can adjust it. It's very easy. It's right here. I have it on kind of light right now. Oh, this is so much easier with the narrow fabric, but I just don't have much table here. And because I'm not holding the foot pedal, it's going a lot easier. I just wish I had more table right here. You know? Yes, I am just rolling. It is raw edge. Yeah, so it's 1 inch cut. No, I can't, Walter. I just want to say, you guys, the next time you're doing this, I'm going to chat at you a mile a minute, 12 different questions. All right? I'm not trying to shut you up, but I'm just saying, I'm feeling like a circus act right now. Do I not think that there's those sewing YouTubers that watch me and go, well, at least I can sew better than her? Yeah. But are you doing it live? I want to know. I do love you. I really do. It's Saturday, right? Okay, well, this was a lot better not having to push it here, so I'm glad you guys were all concerned enough that I put it on the floor. You were right. I needed to do that. I'm not actually... This is going really good, but at the same time, I'm not paying attention very enough, so I'm not making sure I'm getting a nice smooth edge. Smooth stitches. I feel like I'm going to have some jogs. I'm balancing on one foot. Haha. See, I'm improving. I'm improving. You're watching it happen. I'm like a seal with a ball on my nose. All right, so now we still have the, I'm going to do armhole binding. Do I have enough? It's on the floor. Oh, I'm hungry. I do miss some responses, but sometimes someone will say, hey, so-and-so said something, and I appreciate that because I don't want to miss your comments or questions. And this is why I'm here. This is why I'm doing, I'm not doing this just to get jammy tops, you know? Whoops, Seger. I'm doing this because I really want us all to go through this. So much better than the first, right? You know, when I stand a lot and sew sometimes, I will start switching feet and start using my left foot on the pedal just to give my hip a break. All right, so this is the armhole. And I just need to straighten this out. So I'm just gently, very gently pulling on the binding right now. This fabric wants to curl real effing bad. And I'm saying no. No to curling. Okay, so here's my shoulder seam. Hopefully it's pressed the right way, because I'm not going to twist it. Oh, that's a good idea, Catherine. I forgot about a vacuum cleaner repair place. That's such a good tip. Because they also may be familiar with your sewing machine. If they do both, you know? Get on there, stop curling. I said no. Alright, I'm going to leave myself a little tail at each end this time. Okay, so we have this one on. And so on this side over here, I'm going to sew the shoulder together so that now I can put this armhole's binding on. All right, CD, look, I'm going to do it without tacking it first. I'm a little nervous. I kind of want to do it going from the light end to the thick end, you know, but we're going to try it this way first. My all went flying. Oh boy, where'd my shoulder go? I had it all straight. There it is. We're good. Hey, Deborah. Oh, you've been talking though. I am liking the serger actually. Except right now that I don't have it sewing anything. Let's see. What happened here? That's weird. I'm pressing the foot pedal, but oh, will it not go with the presser foot up? That's funny. That is so interesting. Infinite ceremonies. I know. Trust me, I know. I see it every week. Because I watch the chat on YouTube. So that did definitely push it a little bit out of the way. Right here. It's okay. You know, starting with this thickness, it's a little bit off as well. See? So do I think I can maybe fix this? I don't know. Maybe what I would do is take this to my single needle, pull it this way, I'm exaggerating it, and then line this up a tiny bit better like that, and then put a better seam in there so that this edge lines up better. You know? My binding's not the same width yet. Teeny tiny typing on your phone. Okay, so now let's put this binding on this side. I'm so glad I had enough of this. I just cut a bunch without measuring it first. And I'm so glad that I could even cut enough. All right, we're gonna leave myself a tail. All right, so I usually just get things in the machine and then I start arranging everything. That's why you always see me struggling afterward. Which is the front and which is the back? So let's see. This is the back. I do like I pressed the seam that way. And when my machine approached it to sew it, it did not hesitate. Like the knife just kind of went right by and then the serger did it. So it didn't try and flip my seam over. It didn't push the seam down into the machine. I like that. All right. Okay, so you think you're in the future. I'm the one in the future. What happened, Mrs. Necro? All right, undies created. What do you do when the gusset is smaller than the back end fabric edge? Ease it in. I would go for a narrower crotch than a narrower bum. And next time, trace your pattern better. No, I'm just teasing. I think, personally, I'm trying to do this without using my single needle machine, Martina. Because I think, like, if you're doing this kind of serger cover stitch thing, all right, and I want to just say, I just want to back up a little bit. Because, the kind of sewing I do borrows a lot of techniques from the garment industry, but I don't personally think that those techniques are necessary. I don't really think that they're not better. They're just the way I have spent more of my time sewing, so they speak to me. I find that they're a little bit faster and less fussy. So when I'm over here just using the knits and using a cover stitch and a serger, I shouldn't really have to use another machine, especially a non-knit specific machine like my industrial single needle, to move the project along. And I would have to seam the binding in the round prior to assembling it on the garment. You would never do that in like production, right? So that's why I'm leaving one end open. It is easier to do it flat, but not necessarily. It's just that it's faster probably and less, I'm getting a phone call from someone I don't know. Less fussy. Does that make sense? I'm glad you caught my sass there. Miss Nigger. Ooh, let's see. I'll compare. Let's see. I mean, yeah, it is actually. So, wow. Yeah. Huh. Now that's interesting, huh? Because I could watch chat on like my iPad or something. I meant to bring it today. And I was like, oh no, what am I going to do to watch chat? And I was like, oh, that's right. I have that thing called a phone that does freaking everything. So does that make sense, Martina? Like why, you could totally put this on in the round if you want. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I would just have to go back to my industrial to put the binding in a circle potentially. Or you could use your serger. I'm wrong. You could use your serger. Sorry. Yeah. I'm glad. I'm a teaser and I am actually pretty tame with you guys, but I'm a big time teaser and I get misunderstood constantly. Can you guys actually see the chat on here? How do you know? It's because you can see what I'm doing. That's what it is, huh? Your phone's ahead of you. Oh. This time the binding feels a little whiter than last time, so I don't know why. But I'm really glad that I took that woman's advice that, you know, just was talking and said to make this, you know, longer. That was me. That was nice to be able to go on to, you know, have something there to pull and get on there. Ooh, look at me evolving. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so now we're at our side seams and hems. Oh no, I have to do this one too. I'm really loving the cover stitch. I'm so glad I get to do one more. Yeah, right, Martina? I think that's it. No. It's not the goal of the factory to keep it as flat as possible. It's the goal of the factory to have the fewest steps possible. So if their factory is set up, so like certain factories, most factories specialize in something. Where's my foot pedal? There we go. So, and then even then they'll get into even more specific specialties. So if you have a factory, they're a knits factory, they specialize further down than that. And, you know, they might be like, oh, we specialize in athletic wear and flat locking, right? And they're hardly using a serger at all. Like the serger to them is the single needle to me, you know? So they're just trying to make it move workstations as few times as possible. They're just going for speed. That's all. Speed and the result that the customer wanted. Oh, that's how you can tell, Sydney. Big chunks. You guys are just chatting so you can see yourself on my phone, aren't you? Oh, right, Penny. I know. What's interesting is Twitch is the opposite. If you're on a desktop, it's much faster. And you can respond to a streamer almost the second they say something. It's like, there's only like a 1 to 3 second delay. But if I'm on my phone, it's longer. And so sometimes they'll be like, oh, Phoenix is on her phone, we can tell. You know? So YouTube's much slower. I just did this the wrong way. I just did that the wrong way, so now I have like a little bit of a mesh there. Alright, so now we have our binding on this one, and we're going to do the side seams and hem. Okay. So when I had to make samples, when I did this for customers, and I would, you know, draft their patterns and get them along, and we do prototypes, I had to be really careful. Like, it had to really look professional. So, like, I would be also worried about things like, I'm wondering where this long thread is going, that my binding would be the same width when it matched straight here, stuff like that. Because the fact that it doesn't is a very home sew giveaway. Because they would have had a machine putting it on. All right. I'll pull that thread out later. Oh, there it is. Now I see it. It's like in my, I want it gone. I also want my, there we go. Okay, let's do the side seams. I'm really glad I decided to do the cover stitch because it's so satisfying. So here's that thickness again. I need a wooden awl. See, and it pushed it away a little bit. It doesn't really like doing that. I might continue to set it, you know, set it up on my single needle first. You would never do that in a factory, by the way. But I also want that to line up there, you know? That's full speed. So here's this juncture. Look at that, I got tucks because of it. Rude. I'll redo that side seam up there. Look at that. See, it pushed it in. So let's try the other one from the bottom up and see if it's better. I'll bet $100 it's better coming from the bottom. My only issue with this is that it could get a little off kilter. Yeah, me too, Deborah. I actually really like doing things in the round too. I'm not big on like the right way to do things, but I do like setting all my sleeves that way. But when it comes to cover stitch, I feel like a lot of people really don't like having to do it, you know, blind. And having it flat might help. All right, here we come. It's nice to have these to hold on to because I can kind of keep them flat. All right, that's the way to do that. Look at that. All right, so we learned something else. I'm a little bit off right there. I'm kind of a lot off. Look at the width of this binding compared to this. But let's see, when I pull this down here, and maybe I pull it back here, and then I'll take my awl, and I'll do this, whoop, and you'll never know. Because I'm a master at the awl. All right, let's just hem this. All right, let's do better. let's hope I'm evolving at the hem, because that used to be something I was really good at, and I'm feeling pretty sucky right now. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, what is this right here? Oh, these are pattern pieces, kind of migrating. I was trying all kinds of setups. I feel like, oh yeah, okay, we're okay there. I'm gonna try a little scrap though. You got some butt tucks? I won't look. What is that, Walter? Voop. Oh, see, I felt I did something different there. Yeah, that's so cool. That must have been fun to see, Martina. Yeah, they break it down into every little task. Oh, this is unthreaded. It looked threaded, but it wasn't threaded. All right. This one doesn't have the needle threader. Well, I was gonna say I just have to suffer, but really you just have to suffer. There we go. Not bad, not bad. This one's barely in. Oh, technical success. Voop. I like that. I wish there was a slot here to put those threads through. I don't like that they're up here, you know. Did I get it? No, I didn't. Yeah, I may need to redo my looper. Yeah. Oh yeah, here it is, right here. Okay. How we do this again? Go through here, right? Oh, this is so awkward. Okay, there we go. Like this, and then, oh yeah, there's this. Wait, oh yeah. Okay. Right. This is kind of awkward, but right. Let's see if I did it. Oh, and this is out of its little thing here. Is that how that goes? Wait, how does this go again? Probably should redo the whole threading. Yeah, I'm gonna redo this. I feel like I was missing one there. Here. And then this is the one that is now very obvious to me, but it wasn't at first. Then here. Oh, this one was right. Okay, okay. Yeah. go down? Oh yeah, that one was right. I had it right. Okay, well good. So this is probably the only tricky part to thread is this looper here. But it's really not bad once you know how to do it. And you're not doing it on camera. Like I can't really bend over and look because then I'll block the view. Wait. I just did that differently. So it goes right, back, and then, oh, okay, cool. I did fix something then. All right. So let's see, what is this? That is just my upper thread. Let's see. Thread my needles. All part of learning, right? And yeah, you can tie off your thread and pull it through. And I see people say that. Like that was why I got mad at the woman in that video, is because that's how she said, the title of the video was how to thread your Juki MCS 1500, and all she did was tie it off and pull it through, and that wasn't nice. Right? You need to know how to thread your machine because of just things like this. Like I did when I finished that last seam, I did the little order backwards of what you're supposed to do to release it to let your work out. And so then it unthreaded my looper. So let's see. Let's hope I got it now. Where's my little... Here it is. All right. Let's see how I did. I haven't had to do that in a bit. I'm going to trim that a little bit. Oh, come on. I gotta have it a little closer to the edge so the petal goes flat. All right. What did Walter say? Voop. So forward and then back. So now see, if I didn't hold this right here, this is what I'm talking about. Right here, if you pull on this thread, I'm pretty sure it just starts going. See? Look. That's what I'm saying. My baby lock doesn't do that. All right, we're back on track. Let's hem this one. And I've lost which one's the back, which one's the front. All right, so this is the back. I'm pushing my first seam away from me. Hi, Louise. How's it going? What are you up to? All right, so let's see if I can do better on this hem now. So I feel the cut edge is right there. Ooh, it's such a fast little machine. All right. There's my raw edge right next to the needle. Doing a little better. Right, it probably will turn into the most comfortable pair of underwear she has, Sydney. Isn't that so funny? All right. It's quite a curve. I should have bound the hem. You know? So there are little trips. I still want to hear about the Lego and blue tack thing. That woman that had that one video, she had, I think it was her, she had something that she lay here. And so what she would do is this. So this is kind of a tip. She would lay in her work like this. She would go, okay, this, she put it wrong side up, fold. This is where I want this edge to be, right? And then she would put her guide right here and line it up. And apparently that kept her on track. But it doesn't mean you can't accidentally fold the incorrect amount still. What I'm finding right now is the curve is so big that I'm having trouble being consistent. So it'll probably just take practice. I think it is. I think it's very quiet. This is the cover stitch too, so the serger's very quiet as well. All right, almost done. And then I think I'm going to take both of these shirts to the, so how does it sound when I'm talking over while it's going? Can you hear me okay? Because I feel like that's a good indication too of how quiet it is. I'm going to take these over to the single needle and finish them up. I don't need to do the third one with you. It was just like this one. And then that way we can get through all the way of finishing both of these completely. Well, I did pretty good at the start there, even though I got a little jog there. So this is the little method you guys use, right? You pull it forward and then you lift up your presser foot. I can't find my crochet hook, so I'm using my loop turner. You grab just your top threads, right? Cut those. And then you yank the work back, right? And it's supposed to lock it. Yeah, and that does work. But see, you get this little bit of tunneling right there and a little tug. But at least it's locked, right? Oh, okay, cool. That's great. That's great to know. All right, let's go over to the single needle and finish these up. Where's my other one? It's over there. Cool. All right. Let's bring the microphone. And let's bring my scissors and my awl. Oh, it's nice to sit down. It's nice to sit down. All right, so what do we got here? So on this one, I'm gonna get a couple labels. So see, look, it's not quite finished, right? We have the seam right here going right into the armhole that we still need to kind of work on. All right, Barbara. Nice seeing ya. Oh, that's smart, Sydney. But I was in the round on that hem. Good night, Malin. Sleep well. I'll see you in like a week. Or a little more. A little more than a week. I won't be streaming next week, so. But, you know, here's like this shoulder completely finished. Look at that binding. I did pretty good on that. I'm getting better, huh? Compared to that first one. So let's fix this here. So I think the best thing when it's this far off, because see, look at how far off my seam is. See that? I think the best way to do is to cheat a little bit, personally. And I'm going to sew it with the side that's too short on top, like this. I'm going to line it up to the seam. And now I'm going to pull this short edge so that it lines up. Like that. See, so now my seam lines up. And now I'm going to put this, let's see, this is it goes back this way. Okay, so let's cut this little tail off, put it into the seam allowance, and then I'm going to fold it in there, right? that is my single needle machine right there. And I'm going to top stitch it down on the right side, just a little bit in the seam allowance, just to secure it. So that now with this seam going right into that edge, we don't have to worry about it sneaking to the right side. I have a weird thread right there though. Let's get rid of that. And if you look at your ready-to-wear knits, that's really what you're going to see. So look at that. And it also will feel really secure. And obviously I need to work on my technique there, you know, blending it. But remember we pulled a little bit too. But, you know, once this is washed a couple times, it's going to be fine. All right, and so we're going to do the same thing at this shoulder here. But I think I was a little better at lining it up. So this one I'm just going to fudge now. I'm not going to re-sew the seam. Oh, this one's the one I have to because of the tucks. Never mind. I do have to fudge this one a tiny bit. So this one has a tuck on this side and a tuck on this side. Thanks, machine. All right, so let's just re-sew this side seam a little bit. I'm going to put my tail of my thread. Can I get this a little tighter? Maybe not. Line that up. And I'm gonna kind of stretch this a little bit and get rid of those tucks while I'm doing it. And blend it in. And then that way we don't have those tucks anymore on this side. And then let's see, this is the back over here. So let's get rid of my start stop thread there and there. We're going to pull this to the back, tuck it in there, and then top stitch it from the right side. Just a little bit. You can stick to the thicker part of your seam where that binding is, or your hem if you're just doing a hem, because then that way you don't worry about like getting a run in your knits or something like that with your needle, because it does feel like you're going from thick to thin so suddenly that it does feel a little bit, you know, makes it fragile, but you'll feel better about just sticking to that thickness. So hi Una, nice to see you. One out, one in. Exactly. All right, so here's another one. Let's see what this is going on this one. This one is, oh, okay, so this one, the seam went good. This is the one I went from the hem up, so we learned that that dealt better with the thicknesses at the end. And I am a tiny bit off, see? Can you see that? So this one here is a tiny bit taller. So let's just try and fudge it without re-sewing the seam. That's what I used to do all the time. I'm gonna pull this tail in here again. And it's better when you get to pull the seam or push the seam towards the side that is shorter, right? Because pulling it this way doesn't give you the opportunity to pull this up and stitch it down. All right, so we'll tuck that serger tail in there. And then I'm gonna pull the side up to kind of roughly match the, maybe I'll do it going down like this. So we'll start on the body a little bit. There we go. So I push this seam towards this way. My serger tail is in there. I'm not a big fan of the serger tail yet, but let's tuck it in there nice and tight. Start a little bit down there, get going, and now I'm going to pull this up like this. If you can think about it, this is something I always try and remember and I always forget to do. Try and backstitch, like go all the way to the end, but then backstitch down here so that your little thread of your machine is like away from the end, because you keep seeing me trim those. Oh, I didn't really catch this in here. So we might need to put this one through a needle. Or how about we just stick it onto the seam allowance here. Just stitch it down in the seam allowance. that. And there we go. And now look, it matches and it's secure. That's not a thread. It's just the print. Kind of threw me off there. All right, so I forgot to do my label. Since it's a jammy tank, I might skip it, but I think at this point, if you forgot, I would just attach it to your side seam, you know, like here. But I find this area of the body, like right here at the like rib cage, side belly, love handle area, to be super sensitive for labels, depending on what they are. And these have so many threads, they can be a little bit pokey sometimes. All right, so last thing I'm gonna do, oh, let's check my hem out. I'm still getting the hang of it here. Here's my start stop. So how do I feel about it? I mean, it feels pretty good. Pull out that tunnel. There we go. Do we feel like it's going to come undone? Doesn't really feel that way, but if it was, you could just backstitch here and here just to secure it like this. I literally saw more than one video showing you how to hand stitch these stitches in there. I don't think you should have to do that if you're buying, you know, a machine, spending a lot of money. Oh, elastic in the shoulder seams. Oh, I'm sorry, Ray, I missed that. Yeah, like a really long seam, I definitely think it's great, especially like say you're doing a knit shirt that doesn't have a set in armhole, and so it's a grown on sleeve and you have that seam going all the way down. You might want to do that to kind of stabilize it. It doesn't even have to be elastic. You can do any kind of like narrow piece of ribbon that's not going to shrink or something, you know, right there. And then that way it doesn't kind of get stretched, you know, stretched out or something. Yeah, right, Louise, exactly. Yeah. All right, so now what's left on this? Oh, the little V at the center front neck. So on my jammy top, they made a fake V-neck, remember? So let's find the center, right? And they do a little pinch right here, and theirs is so good. I practiced before, like when I did my practice run of binding this morning, I actually tried to do it and I was like, ooh, I don't think I can nail this one. So I'm gonna line up my shoulder seam and find the center here. I'm gonna just do a little stitch kind of cutting off this little corner here like that. So basically what you're doing is like a visual. Say you have your shirt here on the fold and this is your center front line. Because of this scoop and because it's binding, this binding, you see how it's pointing off this way, like to exaggerate it, you've got this little corner hanging off, right? That's what you're doing. You're just making a straight line in line with your center front to get your V, essentially. So try and keep your stitches only on your binding or your hem, whatever you've got. Again, try and put your back stitch down in the middle of your little tiny spot you're doing this, so you don't have those at the edge. I think I did too big, so I might have a little pucker. Let's see. No, it's not too bad. So see, now I have a, oh, what happened to the camera? What happened to the camera? Hello, camera? We've never had that happen before. Look, I got 4 hands. Are you guys still there? Am I still live? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm still moving. Yeah, that is weird. That is so weird. We haven't had that one before. Let's see, where's this one at? It's the 3rd one in. All right. Deactivate. Activate. Voltron, a lion. What were their names? Wonder Twins, activate. All right. That went well. Okay. So, meow. Yeah. Oh, I know. It was a larger camera. All right. All you missed was me sewing this. That's all. But I'll do it on the other one. I am still live, yeah. Yeah, so there we go. So this one's completely done. Except my hem, you know, is marginal here. So I'll trim that later. But I'll go like this when I do it, probably. Pull it away like this and trim it. Pull. All right, so let's do one more. Ah, thanks, Martina. They're pink and purple sapphires, but you really can't see that, huh? Okay, 4 hands. That's how I get so much done. It's my secret. The pop-out video is still... That's weird. All right. Okay, so it's been like hours since we did this. This was my first one. Not as nice. Look at my binding. So I'm putting the seam. So, okay. So when I showed you the one I did this morning, my trial binding, after I sewed that, I narrowed up the width of the serger stitch. And now I know that I don't want to do that. So because I made it wider between this one and the next one, and that was the key. So now we know putting it up wider, and I think I have it at, I think it was 4.5 millimeters. Maybe it was 4. You know how they have like a small number and a big number right next to each other? You can go around and around. Oh. Okay, so here's this shoulder. So this is the back. So this one has sleeves. And we'll push that towards the back. And this, I hate it when I have this happen right here. You see this little corner of fabric snuck out of my serging. Because look, here's my serging. But it's not in there anymore. That is the back, right? Oh, darn. I was kind of hoping it was the front because I could have gone this way, you know? So let's try and beat this into submission a little bit. Let's do a little bit of surgery here. I'm going to, because the serger's not around. See, there we go. There, that's when the thread caught it. Haha, see? You got to poke it back in that serging. I'm going to secure this tail first this time. So now, you know how I did my whole speech on like how, you know, I really want to be able to, if I'm using sewing knits and I'm using my serger and cover stitch, I should be able to just stay there. There is still a little bit of this, but I like to do it all at once, and that's my caveat. And this happens in the factory all the time. Knits look pretty crummy until they get through this step, you know. So same thing, and I'm going to kind of even up this edge a little bit. It's not too bad. I kind of like coming at it from the body and going towards the hem. That feels a little bit more successful. All right, so I'm going to pull this down. This fabric feels a little more fragile. Ooh. It's whooshy. Again, put your back stitch into the garment so you don't have these little whoop-de-doos kind of at the edge, you know. There we go. Alright, so that's the neckline except for trimming off all this excess. But we can do, and we'll do the V-neck in just a second. And look, we really need it. Because remember, it's binding, right? This one really needs it. Okay, so let's see. Here's the sleeve where we did the hem of the sleeve flat, and then we also put the sleeve onto the garment with the underarm open, and so now we have the seam going through the hem, and this is the back, so we'll pull it towards like this. Right, get rid of your tail. They'd never use a needle in the factory. But you can. Nothing wrong with that. You can do whatever you want. If you're doing this for business, though, you're going to do it the fastest way possible. I don't know if I can see all of chat, actually. Oh, okay, good. I was like, am I live? Oh, I don't have it on live chat, though. There we go. You know, the default on the phone is live chat, but on the computer, it's top chat. Oh, you know, I was going to ask Nancy if she's ever seen. So when I usually answer comments to videos on my phone because I do that at night when I should not be working. And because I like to be like caught up all the time. But when I do it on my computer, it looks a little different, and the way you interact with it's a little different. And there's a little symbol by Nancy's name, and it's because she's a top commenter. And I was wondering if she sees that symbol too. Okay, so I'm a little nervous to pull on any of this. I can't remember what state we left this one in. Was this just like... I'm just going to trim these, and I'm going to backstitch over them. I feel like that's the safest. So she's raised the bar for you guys, apparently. Isn't that funny? I didn't even know they rated you. I can't remember what the little symbol is, like a little purple thing. And I was like, wow, what's that symbol? She must be like maybe YouTube Premium, and it's showing me that? I don't know, but no. Oh, shoot, I went way back. It's right here. Oops. I think this is kind of a messy way to do that. I don't like that. You don't usually see back stitches in Coverstitch. I'll get over it. I'll get over it. Get rid of all these little threads. Just makes your work look better. Alright. I do like seeing the chat on my phone, though. It's so much faster. It's so much more up to date. Okay. So let's see here. We have this armhole is done. No binding on this one. We don't have it on these side seams either because we hemmed in the round. What's this one? This one was done in the round. All right. So then we just need to do the V-neck on this one, and it's done. Dang, I feel like now I'm not getting any chat at all. I'm gonna refresh. I hate refreshing, it scares me. Oh, maybe that's it, okay. On my screen, Una was the last one to say, and she has like thumbs up back, right? Is that the last comment? All right, so let's do this from the inside. I could totally use this pattern as just a tank top pattern too. It doesn't have to be a jammy top. You know, like, it's what I want. Hi, Sweet Pea, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. Just been sewing on my new machines and getting the hang of them and how they work. All right, so I'm going to trim off some of this right here now because I will go back and clean this up later, you know? So let's get it away from this V-neck so that I don't immortalize it forever, right? You're quiet. Okay. Wow. Sydney, you've been productive. I'm kind of jealous. You worked out and you ate lunch. All right, there we go. This was my first one. We learned a lot between this neckband and the other one, didn't we? Again, trying to just keep keep my back stitches far away from this edge up here. It's a little better, huh? Everyone focusing intensely. That one looks pretty good. Slight little pucker, but once I think that these are washed, I really like this fabric sewn up. It's a little crazy, but I like it sewn up. You know? Should we try it on my dress form? Let's try. Let's try one. Let's bring her over. That's so smart, Sydney. And then you don't have to come home and go, oh, I didn't do my workout, you know? This fabric's super clinging on this on the cover of this dress form. So you see my binding up there? Kind of. Oh, no, never mind. Okay, maybe it's fine. I thought maybe it was a little stretched out up here. Shoot, this looks pretty cute. Happy. So these are my jammy tops. Look at that forward hip tilt. That's me. I think this needs to go up like this. It's like so clingy on the shoulders up here. All right, let's try. No, it's not that low cut. Huh. Maybe I was right. Maybe it is more like that. Probably. Now I got it all funky. There we go. Yeah, so I think that is a little bit stretched out right there. You see that? I'm not sure if you can see this. Just a little bit. I can fuss with it and hide it from you, but I don't need to. I don't mind showing you. So right there, and I think that once this has been washed a couple times, it'll probably calm down. Hence why I was kind of gently pulling. Yeah, working after the winery trip. Nice, Mrs. Necro. Nice. Yeah, thanks, Louise. I'm happy with them. They're really comfortable. I think I could go to a size down even, but I honestly just don't like tight pants anymore. It's so nice when you put on pants and they're not really tight, you know? So. Alright, and then we have this one here. Oh, Louise, look what I made for my mom. I have to bind it tonight. Isn't that cute? I just made it. I cut it out like at 5 o'clock last night. And I sewed all the rows by 6. I left at 6. And then I got here at 9 and I finished at 10:30. So that's not bad, huh? I'm getting a little faster. And here's the other one. All those threads. Floof. All right. I really wish I had underwear elastics. I'm feeling like so now empowered to start sewing and cover stitching them. This fabric is really different. You could probably tell, huh? It's like, okay. Hip tilt. It's like, what? I like these fabrics. Yeah, it's a Mother's Day gift. When's your Mother's Day? It's like in the spring, isn't it? You always struggle with the neck thing, Ray? Yeah. Yeah, I think like this one looks better. Look at that. There's no stretched out nothing on this one. This fabric's more stable. Like this one is very boingy. You know, it's like that kind of boingy fabric that we really love having and wearing, and then you see all the holes on the front after wearing it 3 times. You know, but it's so nice to wear. It's like that bamboo tencel type of stuff. This is the cotton spandex art gallery. I'm sure you felt this. So I feel like because it's more stable and thick, you know. So, oh, it's March. That's what I thought. I thought it was in the spring. Only a couple months ago. Well, cool. Let's see. What else do I have for you guys today? I'm going to make that blue one now. Probably have to eat some lunch. Yeah, I'm going to make some underwear. I just didn't have elastic. My eyes were bigger than my stomach when I cut those out. I could have probably cobbled some together, but I didn't feel like that was setting myself up for the best success, you know? But my plan is, because I've been thinking it through, I'm like, can I do it completely on the Coverstitch and Seger with no zigzag, right? So I'm thinking that you can, for the waist, take a narrow piece of fabric and fold it in half, serge it on, no elastic at the waist, because that's just how I like it. And on the legs, say you were going to use like the Pico elastic, you could serge it on, turn it right side out, cover stitch, top stitch it down, and then the order of operations would be like, you would do the crotch to the front and the back of the panty and then lay it out flat. Put on your elastic on both legs, sew up one side seam, put the waist on, top stitch it if you need to, because if you're using elastic you might want to, then do your last side seam, and then tidy up the ends on the single needle. So, yeah, Ray, and I think I think I did get better at the second one, but the fabric is definitely different. This fabric wants to roll like a mother trucker. So, you know what I mean? Like it wants to curl. Whereas this one lays nice and flat, you know? It didn't want to curl. So there's that. This one's harder to work with fabric-wise as far as it's very thin and like boingy, you know? I'm kind of curious what the subtitle for boingy looks like. I'm going to watch now. I like how... it's so funny. Watching the subtitles. I'm waiting. Oh, wow, it's very accurate. I guess boingy is a word. The fact that sew and knit aren't words in autocorrect, but boingy is in closed captions says a lot about the world right now, doesn't it? All right, well, that was really fun. Thanks so much for letting me do this project to get more familiar with my machines. I'm pretty excited about them. I think my MO would normally be like, okay, just get it going for what you need to do and you're good. But I kind of want to explore them deeper, you know, like maybe making minor adjustments for things as I sew so I get the best type of stitching, you know, like the differential and the pressure of the presser foot for the cover stitch. And on the serger, I'm probably going to mostly use it for the 4-thread safety. Oh, Ray, we were going to lettuce edge the sleeve hems on this. We were going to do the rolled hem thing on the... Oh, I forgot. Boingy. Yep. It even spelled it just like that, Ray. I thought there might be an EY. I don't know. I was watching... Okay, first of all, if you're a YouTuber and you don't put subtitles on, turn them on, okay? Because that is really helpful for people who can't hear very well. And it also, just for people who don't have accessibility issues, it's really, like for me, I need it because I can't always listen to a video. I can only watch it because of where I'm doing it at or whatever. And it's really helpful. But I was watching a video recently, and it was kind of an important, serious video, and the closed captions were so bad that I felt like they needed to, like, submit their video and buy closed captions because they were so bad, you know. Buyers alert! Thanks for coming. So, all right, well, all right, so just to recap, next week I'm not streaming, so I won't be here Wednesday, Thursday, or Saturday, but there's a few uploaded videos that'll be happening. There's a studio tour on Friday. The design and merchandising series has an episode, which for some reason, I don't know why YouTube launched it, even though I have it scheduled, and 42 people have watched it, so I appreciate that very much. But I took it back off. It'll be back on so that I can kind of announce that it's on. And then if I can record one more video, I will have that as well next week. I just haven't decided because I took off doing this top as the video. So yeah, and I'm just going on a little road trip to a little town in Oregon that my daughter's planning on moving to. So we're just gonna go for a quick little trip, hopefully go to a fabric store. I'm gonna go to the Mill End fabric store in Beaverton, I think. Yeah, I think so. So speed up tip is good too, especially the third time you watch it. Yeah, right, Beverly? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I love that. I know Noon Sky was watching the cutting video the other day, and she commented, she goes, I was wondering why you were going so fast, and I realized I had it at like 1.25 speed. Yeah, thanks, Walter. Yeah. All right, well, have a great week. Happy Mother's Day to those of you. I'm not streaming again later today, Sweet Pea, sorry. Oh, you do, Rebecca? Nice. And then I'll see you guys here on May 19th. And I have a funny little thing to show you. And I'm going to make that free pattern that Grainline Studio just came out with to make the pattern weights. I'm going to make a set of those as a gift for a friend who's moving out of town. I'm not having surgery. Is that what you're asking, Catherine? So, yeah. Anyway. All right. Happy week off from me. And I'll see you guys soon. Make sure you take notes so that you can update me on everything you did while I was away. All right? Because I want to hear about all of it. And for the Saturday Patreon patron Zoom, I'm rescheduling it for the next week, and I think all of you know about that. So I'll send you a new meeting invite for that. So you did, Rebecca? That's so funny. Did you go to Josephine Dry Goods? I love that store. Were you a garment sewist at the time? Yeah, right, Louise? I like that there's a little handle on them. They're pretty cute. Thanks, Una. All right, Sweet Pea. Yeah, Sweet Pea, just so you know, sometimes the chat doesn't show up until the video's been fully processed, so I'm sorry if you can't see it. It usually takes like somewhere like 12 hours or less, because it usually happens overnight for me, so I don't know. You need to buy another second suitcase. At least we're driving, right? Just barely a garment sews. Oh, your eyes were bigger than your stomach. Yeah, if you have any recommendations for fabric stores in Oregon. Yeah, there's that. You just liked all the fabric. Ooh, yeah. I know that one. Okay, cool, Mrs. Necro. I'm so excited for you. I'm gonna definitely get elastic while I'm away. What if I don't find any and then I have to order it? Look at my floor over there. Oh, I'm glad you can't see I had to hide one of my little secret things for you guys. All right, I'll see you guys soon. I'm hungry. I'm gonna miss you guys. Bye. See you guys.